What's going on, y'all? I want to welcome everybody to episode 2 of the Sleeping Giants podcast with Terrance and Mike. We have a very exciting program today where we're going to be talking about all types of music content and everything that's going on in this world that we love called hip hop. Mike, what's going on, man?
Not much, bro. What's going on?
Hey, man, it's an exciting week, man. Hey, man, we got a verse from Andre 3000, man. What do you think, man?
Man, I mean, Andre, one of the GOATs when it comes to this thing we like to call hip hop.
Yeah.
2021's been a long time since we got an Andre verse, so that was nice. It was one of the most poetic verses that I've heard in quite some time. I mean, he just proved why he is revered the way that he is in hip hop. It was just another example of why he is, viewed the way that he is. It was incredible to me.
Yeah, it was great, man. I mean, it's crazy. Like within the last 2 months, we got an Andre 3000 verse and a Lauryn Hill verse. I mean,
I know.
it just goes to show how appreciated that they both are, and that pure artistic expression is still appreciated. They're not trying to sound like somebody else or sound like half their age. I mean, they're definitely in the bag and dropping some great verses. And what they're saying, you know what I'm saying? Like just what they're talking about is just so appreciated, and something that's just so missing. It makes me kind of think about like our parents' generation, that or even grandparents, that when war was going on, or racial injustice and things like that was going on, and music was it embodied the expression of what people was feeling. You had your
Absolutely.
What's Going On from Marvin Gaye and your other artists and stuff like that. It just makes you kind of miss that type of feeling, man, that we can get somebody that can just kind of and capture that, even like back in the day, what Public Enemy was doing, or Ice Cube was just kind of looking at the landscape of what was going on in the world and talking about it in his music. I wish somebody would kind of pick up that mantle these days. Not saying that there's artists that are not, but we definitely need more on like the big stage doing that.
Absolutely. But I mean, it's like you said, Andre is one of those type guys. We don't get a lot of verses from him, especially as of recently, but he pops out almost kind of in the same way that Jay Elect does. He pops out, he gives you incredible, music, and you may not see him for a little while. So,
Right.
I just think it's important, like you said, that when the the greats come out and they give an offering to the people, that we acknowledge it. So yeah, props to
Yeah.
Lauren, props to Andre, great stuff.
Right. Yeah. Hey, man, who knows? I mean, maybe he might kind of get that feeling back to want to just kind of, just want to start back getting busy. He had talked about the he wanted to collaborate with Drake and Jay and some other people. So
It'll be crazy.
yeah, man, that'd be crazy. What do you think about the whole everything that transpired as far as like the verse, like even leaking or whatever?
I mean, you know, the story that I heard was that Drake did his OVO radio
Mm,
and basically told people that he was going to give them a surprise or whatever. And the verse or the song was leaked by Drake himself. Now,
mm,
how Drake got access to the song, I have no idea. But
mm,
if that was his doing, and it was maybe some kind of ploy to I don't know, start a beef with Kanye, I think it kind of backfired. You know, more
mm.
than anything, I think people are talking about the Andre verse more than they're talking about the stuff Kanye said in his verse. So,
Mm.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely I don't know, this whole thing with them is just getting real interesting. So we'll just kind of keep an eye on it, man, and see what's going on with these two guys. Versus, what do you think about the upcoming verses? We got Fat Joe versus Ja Rule.
man, okay, you would have had to be around, and I'm not speaking of you just for viewers. you may have had to be around in the early 2000s to actually know how big Ja Rule was back then. I know
Right.
as of recent, with the Fire Festival thing and a lot of the beef with 50 Cent, Ja has really become the subject of a lot of punchlines. But,
Mm,
he had a great run for a decent amount of time. And
right.
he was really running that whole R&B melody style rap game for a minute.
Mm,
So I think Ja has a really good chance in this. I,
yeah.
I'm actually thinking I'm gonna lean towards Ja coming out with the W on this one.
Right. Um, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, man. I mean, I remember when I mean, obviously I've known of Fat Joe's music for a long time, but when he had that joint with Wayne and the Make It Rain and
Yeah,
Lean Back and some of those, man, those are monster hits. And I
definitely.
mean, I'm not saying Ja doesn't have some hits too, but but sometimes when certain ones hit, it's just hard to kind of formulate. So, I hope both guys did their homework because one thing that we've learned in the verses, it's not even about the songs, it's about how you place the songs. And
Exactly.
if you play this, I got to play that. So, I'm sure, also the lock showed us being in sync with your DJ is important as well.
Absolutely.
So I guess we'll see what both guys are doing. In my mind, I would think, Fat Joe, because he does his live every day, and then like on Fridays he has like his DJ doing some cuts and stuff like that. I'm not sure how active Ja is or whatever as far as but touring and stuff like that. So it'll be an interesting matchup to see who's going to kind of come out on top and who can outwitty who. But it should be close for sure.
I mean, you make some great points, and when you look at Fat Joe's catalog, I mean, he's got, like you said, the Terror Squad songs. He's got songs with Pun. He's got his
Yeah,
own song. So his catalog's deep enough for him to win this. I
yeah,
just I don't know. My gut tells me, you know what I'm saying, Jaws got something up his sleeve. So
yeah.
maybe, we'll see. Maybe next week when we record, I have to retract all of this. But we'll see.
Now, now I am a loyal guy, so I always kind of roll with 50 through their whole little beef or whatever. I think the biggest mistake Ja Rule made was getting Eminem involved because that's
Absolutely.
just that's a problem that you don't want to have. But I will give him props on one thing. I have saw a couple movies from him that I thought was pretty good, and I thought maybe that was a lane he could have stayed in as far as just doing movies. And I'm not even talking like the Fast and Furious. There's a movie he did with Vin Reams. I can't even think of the name of it right now, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I know
Vin
what you're talking
Reams and
about. I
yeah,
can't think of it right
yeah,
now either.
yeah, it's a real good movie.
Uh,
So
before
album reviews. Go ahead.
before we leave, one thing that I think is kind of underrated about the whole Eminem thing when they had the whole back and forth. Before Machine Gun Kelly, I don't think anybody in rap came as hard at him as Ja did.
Mm.
He had that one song, um, I think it was
Haley
maybe like
disc.
a Made You Look, yeah, a Made You Look remix or something,
Okay.
and he said
Okay.
something about, hey, the same one that basically brought him outside.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody before Machine Gun Kelly in rap had came at him that hard. Before then he was beefing with ICP and Everlast. So
Mm-hmm.
I give Ja props, especially considering that the roster that they had. He had Ashanti, you know,
Yeah.
Charlie Baltimore, people like that on his roster, and he basically took on the majority of Shady by himself. So
Mm.
I give him props for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just unfortunately it just didn't because
Yeah, I
he
mean,
had even said something about Buster because I remember it was one track with 50 M and Buster Rhymes did the Hail Mary.
yeah, remix, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's crazy, man. But yeah, I mean that's the thing about hip hop, man. It can definitely get competitive at times, and I've even heard Irv Gotti in the interview say that he was doing everything he could try to do to blackball 50, and just they couldn't stop him. They
oh
tried
yeah.
to blackball him and stall him out, man, but he just pierced through. Um, So, it's funny too. He was talking about he thought 50 was the devil or soul to soul or something like that because they was doing everything they could do to try to block him. But yeah, man, I mean, times roll on, but those guys, I think 50 and Ja, don't look for no makeup with those guys, or they're
Not
gonna be
happening.
cool. They're gonna go to the grave with it, man. What do you think about we got some albums, man, that we got to touch up on. Now we had
Absolutely.
discussed last week that we were going to talk about Westside Gunn. So we're definitely
Mhm.
gonna get into the Westside Gunn album, but we want to go back and touch on Donda, and then we're gonna give our reviews for Certified Lover Boy.
Okay. I stay. I think my stance last week on Donda was that it was a solid 7 to me,
Okay.
and I think I'm gonna stick with that stance after 2 more listens. I think that puts me at 5 now.
Okay.
So after about 5 listens, I'm still on the same stance. There are some songs that I really enjoy.
Right.
There are some songs that I feel like could have been left off. I
Yeah.
still feel like overall the album is long, maybe a
Mm,
little too long,
mm.
but I do feel like he did a efficient job of creating the atmosphere and an experience with the album. And
Right.
I am slightly disappointed that we didn't get very much rapping from him, but that's kind of common in some of his later albums or some of the albums he's done recently. So I guess that's why he brought in, the Locks and
Mm.
Griselda and Jay Electronica, guys like that. So overall, I stick with my stance. I think it's a solid 7.
Yeah. I've listened to it, I think 6 times now. I wanted to really give it its listen, and I want to put some respect on Mike Dean's name because
Okay.
the engineering on this album and some of the work that he did. And I think he's collaborated on just about every Kanye's album, man. So it's definitely monumental to hear the engineering and just the vision of what he was trying to do. I mean, the production on it almost sounds like something from Nine Inch Nails or just Dr. Dre or something. Like it's really mixed like really well. And I like some of the things he tried to do from a sonic standpoint. I think last time that we had recorded, I said Jonah was my favorite song. I still love that song a lot, but I do have a couple new songs that grew on me from the numerous listens.
Okay.
Of course, we already discussed God Breathe and Jail and
Hmm.
Hurricane, but um 24. I really like that
24.
song. Yeah, 24, man. I like the choir and just how it came off. Remote Control is definitely grew on me a lot. I
Hmm.
like I like that song. Um Lord I Need You. That's become one of
I
my
love that one.
favorites as well. And Pure
Yeah.
Souls is nice. Obviously Jail and Jail 2. Um the moon and heaven and hell just still haven't quite hit me yet. So probably had he kept it like around, I don't know, 14 records or something, we'd probably be talking about a classic.
I agree. 14 to 16 songs, we would probably be talking about a classic right now. I
Yeah,
agree. 100%.
yeah. So we're gonna shift from Donda to Certified Lover Boy. Last time that we had recorded, Drake was putting out the album in a couple hours from when we had dropped the episode. So we talked about that we were going to come back and touch on it. So having listened to it, what are your thoughts?
Man, I know the Drake head's gonna come for me, you know what I'm saying? I already know, man. But it is what it is. I have to, be objective, man. Look, I've listened to Drake's album 3 times,
Okay.
and it was extremely difficult for me to do it 3 times. But what I will say about Drake, as we discussed last week, I thought the marketing for the album was genius, incredible.
Mhm.
That's the type of stuff that people watch and then they mimic. So, that's trend setting.
Well,
I
well,
definitely thought that that was great work. there are some songs on the album that I like. I love the 7 a.m. record.
Nice.
Uh, No More Friends in the Industry was cool.
Yeah.
Um, Pipe Down was okay. It's cool, you know. Um, I just feel like overall, I don't feel like we're getting. I don't want to say maximum effort, but it just feels like another Drake album, you know. And it doesn't feel, you know, Take Care when it came out felt special to me. No, nothing was the same. Felt special. This doesn't feel special to me, and maybe it's just me, but you know, I'll try to possibly give it some more listens, and maybe it might change
Mhm.
my mind. But right now, if I was to give it a number value, I'm at like maybe a 5.5. You
Mm.
know, 5.5 tops. I go maybe a 6.
Okay. Now, Donda, I think for me, I'm gonna give Donda a 7.5.
Okay.
Um, Certified Lover Boy. I heard it the first night it came out. Uh, everybody's talking about Kanye has 27, but I think this album has what, 21 tracks.
Yeah,
So
21.
it's definitely a long album as well. And I'm not one of those people that if a movie is long or an album is long, like it's a problem. But obviously you got to kind of keep people engaged. But I will say this: I do like the album more the second time I heard it versus the first time. As a matter of fact, I listened to it last night at the gym all the way through again. Um, Definitely some songs on there that I like. Some ones on there I'm not so crazy about. I love the Jay-Z record, Love All. Like
Yeah, I
that's
do.
special.
I do
It's
love the
really,
Jay Z record.
yeah, it's really good. TSU. That one grew on me. Like I really like that one. Um, the In Too Deep, it's not bad.
I
Um,
like the first part, or
yeah.
actually I think it was the second part that I like. But
Okay. Another song I caught the second time that I like better is "Get Along Better" with
hmm
Ty Dolla Sign. Sign is real good. The Cuddy record is okay. Effing Fans, pretty good. 7 a.m. I mean, that's like a masterpiece. And
I like
so
the Tim's record. I don't think people are talking enough about that one.
which one?
The Tim's record, the Afrobeat record.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, I like that one. I don't think people and Yebba's interlude as well. I don't think people are talking enough about either of those tracks.
right.
But I mean, and I don't know, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
No, 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 no. You're
I
fine.
mean,
Go ahead.
overall, I'm because I don't want it to come across as if I'm saying the album is trash. I'm not saying it's
Sure.
trash.
Right.
I just don't think it measures. Once again, I don't think it measures up to the great stuff that we've seen from Drake. Like this is not So Far Gone. This is not Nothing Was the Same. This is not Take Care. A lot of people are big on views. I don't think this is views
Mm.
personally. You know, so
Let me ask you a question, and this is like a good dialogue we can have about it. Um, as an artist ages in their career and they get older. I mean, Drake's been around what, definitely like a decade now, right, or longer.
for sure.
Yeah. So obviously, it's impossible for in some regards, like for Kanye to go back and do College Dropout again, or for Eminem to do, what he did the first time around, or Snoop with
hmm
Doggy Style. So, we appreciate those moments because they were completely different people at that time versus, maybe where they are now. So I get it where maybe that what we fell in love with, maybe they're somewhere different from an artistic standpoint. Like even you being like a big Jay-Z fan, like
hmm
Reasonable Doubt is probably one of my favorite Jay-Z albums, but he's a totally different person now. So how do you feel about artists trying to grow and maybe experiment with like new things from an artistic standpoint, where you still have the fans who maybe want more of what you already done before. So it kind of maybe puts the artist in a box, or it puts them somewhere where they kind of artistically kind of stuck. But I will say this before you answer. I did listen to some of the Joe Budden's podcast last night, and I heard Ice talking about, because he made one point that I actually forgot about. Like, this album was pushed back. So, it was supposed to come out earlier. So I guess people who are big Drake fans probably was expecting something a little different than what they got. So how do you kind of, think about all that?
Well, to add on to what you just said, some of those records were leaked records as well that made the album. And we've seen Drake, records get leaked before his albums comes out, but usually those records don't make the album. So, and I think there were 3, maybe 4 of those records that made the album that had been leaked previously. But anyways, to the point that you were making before that about artists and the way that they develop or change their styles as they grow older. I think it's not so much important what the fans want. It's more so what that artist is feeling at the time and what they can create based off of that to give to the people.
Right.
And that's why I can, even though Donda's not one of my favorite Kanye albums, I can appreciate what he did with it. But on the flip side, I mean, you got people like Nas. Nas put out arguably the album of the year thus far,
Sure.
and I don't really feel like he has switched up his style or done, anything crazy different. His
Right.
production, some people will say his production's gotten better. There's a whole crowd of people who,
Vlad.
try, blast Nas production and stuff like
Right.
that, but we're not gonna get that deep on that. But
Yeah.
I mean, obviously working with Hit Boy, he won the Grammy last year, and it seems to be working well for him right now, with the success of this album. So,
Right.
I think it's just all about making a focused, effort whenever it is that you're going to put out a project. And you know for me, I feel like Drake has put out more focused efforts. I don't want to once again trash him or
Right.
knock the album. Like some that you were talking about songs that grew on you over time. Like there was one specific record on the Drake album. I know I did not like it the first time, and when I heard it the second and the third time, it got better to me.
Right.
Uh, I think it was the Little Baby record. Yeah, the Girls
Okay.
Like Girls. Was not crazy about that record the first time
Right.
I heard
Yeah.
it. After 2 or 3 listens, it's like, okay. It's not that bad. It's better than I thought it was.
Yeah.
But
It is.
what's interesting is songs like Sue. I like Sue or TSU the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the more and more I listen to Sue or TSU, I didn't like it.
Okay.
And there was another one that was like that. So I don't know, maybe
Right.
my taste is just weird, but
Nah.
overall, I feel
Right.
like we've gotten better Drake projects, but I still give it a solid 6.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you. I'll probably give it a 6.5. I did see the video for the
Yeah.
song with Future and Young Thug. I mean the video was funny, so it kind of makes you kind of enjoy it a little bit more than like
Mm-hmm.
listening to it or whatever. But one song on the album that it won't grow on me, and I I'm just gonna say it. I'll let people go
Go
ahead
ahead.
and throw the hate mail at me. But the track with 21 Savage, is it called Knife in the
Life talk, yeah.
Knife Talk? It, in my opinion, is the worst Drake song I've ever heard before. Like, I don't like it at all. Like, it's nothing. And I was kind of excited about it because Project Pack. I was thinking, okay, we could get a Project Pack verse, but I didn't like
Yeah,
that track at all, man. But you know
I
what,
feel
man?
it.
But listening to the album more, and I guess that's like a good problem for Drake to have. The records that he rapped really well on, it made me
Hmm.
want to hear more of his rapping.
I agree.
Take Care is a masterpiece, but it's not my favorite Drake album because there's a lot of singing on it, and
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with his singing and it's cool and there's an audience for it or whatever. But me personally, I like Drake rapping or whatever. That's
Facts.
why even though he did a lot of the melody stuff, but Nothing from the Same was my favorite Drake album. And I would say his So Far Gone EP would be
Mm-hmm.
my second favorite project of his. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna give it some more listens. I mean, I have given Donda 6. I've only given Certified Lover Boy 2. So I'm gonna listen to it some more and just kind of see how it grows on me. But right now, I stand at 6.5. So
I
I would,
feel that.
if we're gonna do the whole who had the better album, which I don't want to kind of get into that because to me they seem like two different complete artists or whatever. But in my opinion, I would go with Donda for sure.
I feel that.
Westside Gunn. What do you think about
Oh,
Westside's
what?
project, man?
Man, what's it? Hitler wears Hermes. Hey,
Yeah,
man. For me, it's very rare that you get an album where you can just put it on and just let it ride.
yeah,
And you know, to me, that's probably one of the greatest respects that you could pay towards an album is saying, man, I just put it on and let it ride. And I liked every song. And that's really what I felt. There was not a single song on that album that I didn't like. Uh I love what they do with their voices on well, when I say they, I mean Griselda. They do a lot of beats or a lot of production that is not very drum based, of sample heavy production.
right,
And the way that they rap on those beats, it almost makes their voice come across as like a part of the instrumentation.
yeah.
And I felt that strongly on this project. Like I said, not a single song that I didn't like. The hooks are mad creative. It's up there for me in one of the tops of the year so far.
Yeah, it's a great album, man. The beats, oh my goodness, man. And I will put some respect on Stove God Cooks. He got in his bag,
Yeah.
man. Like he was talking that talk, man. He was talking that talk. There's one record on there. I know I butcher the title so much, so I almost don't even want to say the name of the record. But
Okay.
is it Mariota,
Yes.
bro? I probably listened. Me and my wife went to Destin the other day. I'm sure I listened to that song about 20 times, man. It's the sample is so crazy on that song, man. And I love the Bash Money with Lil Wayne. And I hope that
Yes.
record
Fire.
taught Lil Wayne that man, he should like try some other production, like outside of like the trap stuff, because he sounded like really good. And I remember listening to 2 Chainz, what he did with
Hmm.
Benny. And
Yeah.
he's also done something with Conway as well. But I mean, those guys sound good on those type of samples, man. It really
I agree.
cuts through and sounds really good. Yeah, West Side is definitely just he needs definitely more respect on his name, man. I mean, not only from what he's doing from a music standpoint, but I even like the
Hmm.
stuff that they do like with the artwork and just everything with the rollouts. And they're big wrestling fans, so a lot of times you're going
Yeah.
to get like the wrestling skits. And so it's real thought out projects, even though they do put out a lot of music, but they
Definitely.
always like come through, man. Like I still like love Pray for Paris a lot and enjoy that project.
Still a
But this
great
one,
album.
yeah, this one stands up there, man. It's really good.
Yeah, they're very consistent, especially West Side, Benny, Conway. They are extremely consistent, and even some of the guys that are up under them, like the Boldy Jameses, the Stove God Cooks.
Hmm.
They got a nice little roster over there. They're building, their own empire. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm loving to see what they're. I'm loving what they're doing right now.
Oh yeah, yeah, and he has some great tracks also on "Who Made the Sunshine," the Shady album.
Oh
And
yeah.
man, he got Slick Rick on there, man. Like Slick Rick was talking that talk too. So You kind of touched on it a second ago. You talked about Westside. So
Yeah.
on the first episode, we had a top 5 albums of the year, but that's so tough, man. So we're gonna expand it to 10. And I almost,
Okay.
even when people talk about people's top 5, like, bro, it's so hard to try to put 5 artists in there because it's so many great MCs and so many great lyricists out there who get busy. But top 10 albums of the year so far in 2021, and we are in September. Mind you, we are a day before Common is coming out with a Beautiful Revolution Part 2. I love the first one. It's
Absolutely.
like a classic in my opinion. And also we got AZ coming back with Do or Die too. And we're sure Kendrick is going to drop later this year as well. And just a lot more artists are going to put out some projects that we'll get a chance to come back, and maybe our list may shift up a little bit. But right now,
Absolutely.
from what we've gathered so far, what's your top 10?
Okay. I'm still not at a point where I'm going to give numbers.
Okay.
I'm not gonna one through 10 it out, but in no order, I have Nas King's Disease, of course, Tyler the Creator, Call Me If You Get Lost, J. Cole, The Off Season, Grip, I Died for This. A new entry is Little Sims, Sometimes I Might Be an Introvert. I listened to that album. I started it last night. I finished it this morning, and I was listening again when you hit me up earlier. And yeah, I definitely think that is one of the best albums I've heard this year, without question.
Mm.
So she definitely solidifies her spot. We just talked about Westside Gunn, obviously. Hitler Wears Hermes. Dave East and Harry Fraud, the
Mm.
Hoffa album, was, I feel like, extremely slept on.
Yes. Yeah.
Extremely slept on. I haven't heard enough people talking about that. So that definitely makes my top 10. Boldy was in my top 10. Boldy James, Bo Jackson, he remains there. Uh, I'm going to, right now, I'm going to stick Donda in there
Mm.
at my ninth spot, you
Okay.
know, just because that's the way it all falls down. So we'll go with Donda at the ninth spot. And last but not least, another person I don't think gets enough credit. I'm gonna say Heavy is the Head, Ransom.
Mm.
Yes,
Okay.
I love Ransom's album. Actually, both of his albums, Seven and Heavy is the Head, I thought were both really well done production wise. And of course he's a rapper's rapper, so he's doing that. But special shout out to Lloyd Banks. His album was nice too. But right
Mm-hmm.
now, that's my top 10.
Okay.
Subject to change, but that's my top 10 right now.
Okay. Man, this is so tough, man, because like I said, I don't want to like snub nobody because there's so many great projects that come out.
Absolutely.
So far for me, album of the year is, in my opinion, by far King's Disease 2 with Nas and Hit Boy is unbelievable. It's a masterpiece in my opinion. I'm gonna put some respect on J. Cole's name. Was it
Okay.
Off Season? Uh,
Yeah, the off
yeah,
season.
yeah, man. He was spitting some hotness, man. Um, I'm gonna put Donda in there. I'm gonna put Donda as my third. It's grown
Okay.
on me. It really has grown on me. I really like his vision. And I think just listening to it more, man, it's just kind of like artistically, I can see what he was trying to do, even though I still have a
I
couple
agree.
a couple records that didn't hit for me. But yeah, I liked it a lot. Uh, I'm gonna go with Grip as my fourth. I
Okay,
still
okay.
love, Grip's album is great, man. It's very underrated. He definitely got busy. Um, it's just,
More than
yeah, man. He's just, he's spitting, man. This is really good. Next, I'm gonna go with Benny the Butcher for the
okay.
what is it,
Pyrex
Pyrex?
Picasso.
Yeah, Pyrex Picasso. And
Hey,
what's the other one
excellent.
he had? What's the other one? Is it the
He had plugs I met too
yeah,
earlier
plugs I met
this year.
too. I like that one
Yeah.
too, man. I'm gonna give Benny 2 nods because I like both of those projects a lot. I was listening
Okay.
to the Picasso one and just how you get done listening to an album, it just kind of throws something else on. And I started
Mm-hmm.
going through the plugs I met too. And bro, I mean it's yeah, Benny is nice, man. So I'm gonna give Benny 2 nods in there. Um,
So both of those are going on your top 10?
yeah, I'm putting both in there
Okay.
right now.
Look
Right
at
now.
Benny.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, look
yeah.
at Benny.
Yeah, I'm put Benny in there, man. So did I say Westside also? I don't think I
I don't
have.
think you said
Okay,
Westside.
and I'm gonna put Westside Gunn in there.
Okay.
It's great, man. Like you said, I like the rollout. I like the vision that he was trying to do, and he wasn't selfish. He definitely you know got some other artists and gave them some opportunities to get busy, and his voice, man, is just so different from like anything that's like out there, and the samples that they use, it definitely kind of puts me in like a kind of Wu-Tang mindset. So
Absolutely.
next I'm gonna go with I really like Snoop's album from the was it from the streets to the sweets. So I still like
Flew
that project.
completely under my radar. Did not even know that this happened this year.
Okay, yeah, yeah, I like that project, man. I'm a
Okay.
Snoop, definitely a Snoop fan. So, um, next I'll probably throw Tyler. I got a
Tyler
chance
Hill.
to, yeah, yeah. You told me about it. I got a chance to listen to it. I guess I listen to most of my music at the gym. Got a chance to listen to Tyler's album. It started a little slow for me. I was kind of at first like, what's going on? But once we got to the track with the one I can't think of the name of it right now, but the one with the single on it, I think it's Lumberjack. Once
Yeah,
Lumberjack
Lumberjack.
came
Yep.
on, okay, I see what he's doing, and then just from there, it just kind of improved and got better like every song. I'm maybe I'm leaving like one album short, so I just kind of leave a slot open or whatever. But right now, those are the projects that stand out to me. Okay, you know what? I'll put Drake on there because even though I'm not giving his album like a 10 or a high number, but the tracks that I do enjoy, I like those enough that I know I'm going to go back and listen to those tracks enough or whatever. But again, I'm sure with Common coming out tonight, and we got some more
Mhm.
projects that we're going to be listening to over the next couple weeks. It's subject to change for sure. But I do know for me, Nas won't be moving at all.
Yeah,
That
it's
King's disease is nice, man.
gonna be difficult. It's gonna be difficult.
Yeah. We will shift gears, man. We'll talk about, and every week on this podcast, we always want to highlight and give props and appreciation to artists that we consider to be underappreciated or underrated, I should say. Last week we chose Westside Boogie.
Hmm.
This week we're going to highlight PJ. Um, I never even like knew too much of PJ's of her of a body of work. I know she's been making music for a while, but I got a chance to experience her voice and how great she is on Common's album last year, Beautiful Revolution. A lot, man. But he's always got like those songs that just kind of like hit the heart, man. And she had a song called him and her had a song called Don't Forget Who You Are.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, man. Her voice is just so great, and her writing is amazing as well. I follow her on Instagram, so she does like a lot of lives, and she's always performing. And Common and her, man, they have like a great energy. A lot of that album, from what I remember, when Beautiful Revolution came out, a
Hmm.
lot of it was like done live, and they, Common kind of like freestyle some of those verses, and she's like a good writer as well, and she got busy. I think at the time, me and you had met for breakfast. You know, you were gonna kind of get a chance to touch on the album. I did send you that particular record earlier. So, what did you think about Common and PJ's song?
Oh, I thought the record was incredible. I mean, obviously, like you said, she has an incredible voice. I listened to a couple of her singles, and I like her songwriting. You know, her beat selection was dope. I think she did a record called "One Miss Call," and I noticed that she was on the same track that Wale did for the breakup song. So that
Mm,
was dope to me. Kind of, you know, seeing uh, her use of that track and seeing what he did with it, you know, the contrast. Uh,
right.
but I listened to a few songs from A Beautiful Revolution one. I haven't finished it yet, but
Mm, mm,
like you said, she's all over the album, and
yeah.
I've liked every contribution that she's put to the album thus far. So you really put me on to PJ, you know, so I'm looking, you know, just like a lot of people who will watch this to probably, you know, hear more of her music and discover more of what she has going on. But from first impression, I was very impressed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. For sure, man. She definitely gets busy, and we definitely look forward to hearing just a lot more great work and contributions to the platform from PJ. So props to her. Artist
Absolutely.
spotlight. I'm gonna pass the baton to you on this one because this is definitely someone that you love. Big Crit, man. Let's talk about him.
Big Crit, man. Okay, so I can't remember exactly what year it was, but whatever year it was that Crit was here came out. I just remember sitting at home one day watching MTVU back when videos were, you know, actually something that people used to watch on TV. But
Right.
I was surfing through the channels and I saw Big Crit, Children of the World. That's the first
Mm,
time I ever heard him, and I was just blown away. Not only I think you said on the track, oh yeah, and I made the beat. So as I'm listening to the song, I'm not only taking in his words, but thinking, okay, he made this dope beat too. So like this guy's mad talented. You know,
right.
I immediately went and tried to find anything I could on him. I found his solo project, or well, solo. I'm sorry, his debut project at the time. Crit Crit was here. To
Hmm.
me, it's a masterpiece. One of the best albums I've heard. I often go back to that album and specific songs on that album. And
Hmm.
you know, really things just kind of took off for him after, you know, he really gained acclaim. He had some other mixtapes
Right.
and other albums, tons of projects, Return of Forever, Live from the Underground, Cadillactica, It's Better This Way. Like I said, tons of mixtapes, tons of albums. I
Right.
followed him for quite some time. I think his last project was K.R.I.T here,
Hmm.
and just, you know, a guy who cares a lot about lyrics, a guy who's a great producer. If you've never heard of him, I would say he's kind of in the kind of similar to David Banner, maybe Pimp C and Bun B, uh, and he produces all most of his own beats. I mean, you know, he's
Yeah.
Southern, but he has something to say. Definitely a lyricist, definitely someone who thinks about the songs that they make and the impact that they are going to have on people. So I
Yeah.
have nothing but the utmost respect for him. And I just hope to see more good music and more people, you know, talk about people like him in the future.
Yeah. I mean, Crit is yeah, man. He's definitely a lyricist for sure. And I like the choices that he makes music wise to collaborate with people like Raphael Sadiq from Tony
Hmm.
Tony Tony, and I think he's even done something with Lupe. So
Yeah.
Crit is definitely well respected. I saw a picture with him and Nas once. It had fans going crazy, like, man, that collab would be crazy.
It would.
Yeah, Crit is nice, man. He's definitely someone that is worthy of accolades. Wish and it's kind of weird, because sometimes the machine gets behind certain artists. Sometimes you just kind of you don't know why they're behind certain artists, and then there's other artists who are just wizards and just masterful at what they do, and it just seems like the machine is not behind them as much as it should be. To me, K.R.I.T is one of those people who definitely should get more accolades than he's been shown. But nevertheless, I mean, your journey is still your journey. So sometimes maybe not getting all those accolades may even push somebody's pen even further or something. But he's great, man. He's definitely someone that we respect a lot. And I was just looking a second ago. Man, he's put out like a lot of music even this year. So I'm gonna add some more of his projects to my to-do list, because you definitely put me on to the Tyler the Creator album. You told me to check that out, and I did. A couple other projects and people that you told me about. So yeah, man. I mean, K.R.I.T is nice, man, for sure. Uh,
Definitely.
we got a lot of new music is coming out. We had already touched on before. What are your thoughts and what are your expectations for Beautiful Revolution Part 2? And also we got AZ.
Um, the Beautiful Revolution too. I uh I happened to catch a performance that Common did on Jimmy Fallon
Mhm.
maybe a couple weeks ago with Black Thought for
Right.
the track When We Move. Incredible.
Yeah.
Uh that's the type, it's like you said earlier, that's the type of rap that I feel like we're really missing in the culture right now. So, you
Mhm.
know, I'm extremely excited based on that. And I think I heard one more song that may have come out. And based
Right.
on those tracks, I'm 100% excited. So, I'm definitely looking forward to that. As far as the AZ, I I heard the Jaheim song,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna go ahead and address, similar to Jaheim has become somewhat of a punchline for jokes. But I was impressed that vocally he sounds pretty similar. He doesn't seem like he lost any vocal talent. And I was kind of questionable about the choice of having him on the hook when I saw that. But
Mhm.
he sounded good. AZ hasn't lost a step at all. The music, he hasn't lost any step lyrically. His voice still sounds, in vocal
Yeah.
projection, it's still strong on the
Mhm.
track. Uh, I look forward. I think it actually dropped maybe yesterday. So I look
Okay.
forward to going through that whole album. And like you said, we'll talk about that one next week as well as the Common album. So I look
Yeah.
forward to hearing both of those.
Who do you think Common could go up against in the verses?
It's funny. I was watching My Expert Opinion not too long ago, and it was Math with Talib
Talib.
Kweli on there.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I think Talib and Common would be a great versus.
Right. Yeah, it would be. It would be. And if not Talib, maybe Black Thought. What do you think?
Mm, I mean, okay. See, here's the thing with Black Thought. It depends on what we're talking about. Because if we're talking about lyricism and stuff like that, then that's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like Black Thought's got the roots behind him,
Mm-hmm.
and it's one thing to go up on stage and rap with a DJ. But if you got a whole band behind you, that's like
Mm-hmm.
that's different. So I don't know. Like I don't know how that
Okay, but
works out. Like
but here's the thing though. The Beautiful Revolution album that we're talking about, that's a band.
mhm,
And that's
that's
all
true.
live instrumentation. So, and then the type of music Common makes, and can I borrow a dollar? We can go back to. I
Yeah,
mean, Common's been around 25 years. We always talk
right.
about Nas from '94, but Common's like right up. He's
That's
right in that
right there.
vein. So I think probably be a pretty good matchup. Um, Common and Nas, I think also would be something nice if Nas and Jay-Z didn't go back and forth.
That would be dope. Uh, I'm not really sure about who would win that one, but yeah, that would definitely be dope. It'd definitely be something for the fans to see, no doubt.
Yeah. That's another artist that we definitely got to talk more about. Belly, and Belly has a new album out called "See You Next Wednesday." I haven't got a chance to listen to that one. If I'm not mistaken, that one did come out August 27th. So that's
Yeah.
definitely something I'm going to add to my to-do list. I'm not going to lie, I'm not as familiar with his catalog of work. I
No.
am going back to some of his earlier work to get caught up, but I do love the record that him, Nas, and The Weeknd has out. It's nice, man.
Yeah, that's a dope record. I've seen some of his freestyles, so I was aware of him. Think he's freestyled on LA Leakers a couple times, and
Yeah.
I've heard a couple singles. I listened to a couple tracks from the album. The intro's cool. If you know, you know, was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I like the track with Benny. And obviously, like you said, the Nas track with The Weeknd. So he's definitely got some dope cuts on there. I gotta finish it up, but
Yeah.
he's definitely somebody that I don't think people should sleep on when it comes to lyricism. He can definitely rap. Like he gets busy. So I think I'm interested to see how that all plays out and where you know that ranks in the albums that have dropped this year so far. So
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. Um, bro, this this next segment, man, it's like a tough one. The death of Michael K. Williams. What are your initial thoughts when you heard about it? Where were you when you read the news, and what was your immediate, just overall reaction to, dang, man, we lost another one, you know?
yeah, I mean exactly what you just said. You know, an actor that we've all seen and you know on the big and small screen, you know, for years. Somebody we've all, you know, a face we're all familiar with, at least in
Yeah.
our community, specifically in the hip hop community.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, I did a quick read up on them, and it's funny, you know, you never really know how much a person has done over the course of their life or their career a lot of times until you like check their Wikipedia page or something. But
Right.
it's funny, just a brief rundown. I don't want to get too deep, but you know, he got his first role in the 1996 film Bullet, featuring Tupac,
Tupac. Yeah.
and yeah, I actually saw an interview where he talked about how Pac basically helped him get that role. He
Mm-hmm.
saw back then, you know, you would go to studios and they would take headshots and different things like that. And
Right.
you know, based on your look or all of that, they would call you or not call you. And he said that Pac saw his picture and said, "Hey, that guy, get that guy. He could play my little brother." So I thought that that was really dope.
Yeah.
Um, uh, Things that like I said, obviously we know him as Omar from The Wire. He's been in 12 Years a Slave. He was
Mm-hmm.
in Lovecraft Country.
Mm-hmm.
When They See Us, tons
Mm-hmm.
of TV shows and films. I learned
Yeah.
just today that he was inspired to get into dancing by
Mm-hmm.
Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation album. And
Mm.
not only that, but that he was actually a backup dancer in videos and on tour for Madonna and George Michael, which is, you know, crazy wild.
Crazy. It's great.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And then I mean he's been in so many rap videos. Like when I talk about you know, his connection to the hip hop community, he was in Young Jeezy Bury Me a G video,
Mm-hmm.
uh the Game's Dreams video. He's been in Trick Daddy videos. Some artists that because of their current situation we won't name right now. If you're smart
Right.
enough, then you'll get that. But
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
exactly.
Yeah.
but but yeah, so you know, he's been somebody we've seen on the big and small screen for years, and just you know another you know talented you know artist and actor that we've seen you know gone too soon. So it's definitely
Yeah.
you know a sad situation, and I definitely you know wish condolences to his family and those who were close to him. You know, it's never easy to go through that type of experience. So oh, and one more thing I want to say. He was the executive producer in of Snow on the Bluff, and I thought that
Mm.
that was really interesting because you know that's like a hood classic, and I
Yeah.
didn't even know that he was the executive producer on that until today. So you know, rest in
Right.
peace, Michael K. Williams. Your contributions to the acting world, the hip hop world, they won't be forgotten.
Yeah, for sure, man. Uh, just to touch on a few of his projects, I think I Love My Wife,
Yeah,
Gone Baby Gone, Incredible Hulk, Miracle at St. Anna.
Yeah.
So many, just great movies, man, that he's done. Memorable roles. Snitch with The
Hmm.
Rock. We can go on and on, but man, just as far as like him as a thespian, like man, you could feel his presence on the screen. His smile, his how witty he was. I mean, he's definitely someone that we're
Absolutely.
gonna miss, and he's not gonna be forgotten, man. He's definitely given us so many moments that it's gonna like, and capture our culture, man. Like he's already done it, you know what I'm saying? So it's just
Absolutely.
we get a chance just to enjoy his body of work, until we check out. But yeah, Michael K. Williams, definitely we thank you for everything that you did, and may you rest in peace.
Yes,
So
sir.
yeah, man, I really enjoyed this episode. We got a chance to retouch on Donda and Certified Lover Boy and Westside Gunn and Andre and the Verzuz and K.R.I.T and everything else, man. So yeah, man. I'm looking forward to when I go to the gym later tonight, check out Common's new album and AZ as well. We'll come back and touch on it, and we'll talk about some new trending topics as well. Give everybody your social media contact information, Mike, how they can connect with you.
Yes, sir. M1C underscore CH3CK. Mike Kick. At Mike Kick on Instagram. The I is a one, the E is a three, underscore in the middle. That simple.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
TerranceHill.com. Also, you can go to Terrance Hill on Facebook and like the page, Instagram, Terrance Hill the Great, and YouTube, Terrance Hill Music, and obviously this platform as well, Double ETV Media. So we want to thank everybody for tuning in to this week's episode of the Sleeping Giants podcast with Terrance and Mike. We'll see you on next week. Y'all take care.
All right.